We have the first of 3 new supermoons that are going to bring us into the close of the year, eventually followed by a solar eclipse in December. And this new moon, which is always a beginning of a growth cycle for the next 30 days, for the moon cycle, until the next full moon, has the potential to ignite your productivity, to really bring the light on the details of things so that you can focus your energy and get organized and start to move some things forward. Now, collectively, that's going to be wonderful for all of us because we've been through a lot of breakdown and we're still in breakdown at some level, and it's time to break through. And we've got to put new systems together for ourselves personally and collectively. We've got to make new commitments. We've got to be able to work together in unity. And this new moon, happening in Virgo in Vedic astrology, the sidereal zodiac, is a very good support for that. Hi, I'm Prema-Lee Guerrieri, Vedic astrologer, consciousness coach, and soul advisor, and welcome to Chart Your Path. Go ahead and click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and feel free to share this with anyone it would serve to help you understand the energy and so that you don't miss any of the updates. Lots of energy is shifting. So we have this super new moon. So super moon, remember, is when the moon is closest to the earth and it appears bigger and it's stronger at that particular time. Remember, as we look at it in Vedic astrology, the moon is the consciousness, the sun is the soul. The moon reflects the soul, the sun, and so the new moon is that dark moon, and it's the time that we plant and the time that we get ready to grow things for the next 30 days, and we start a new moon cycle on what we're going to grow and intend. So you want to get conscious about that, because if you don't and you're just moving from your unconscious patterns, you're going to not necessarily grow what it is you want to grow. So these 3 new moons that we have coming, we have Thursday, September the 17th, and also October 16th is another new moon, supermoon, and it is actually falling in Virgo again. So we're going to get a double whammy. The energy will be a slightly different of this focus on the details, being able to really start to get organized around your purpose, your mission. The last new moon cycle was in Leo. And so Leo is that, bringing your power, your leadership forward. And look, we need some really good leadership right now, but you have something to lead in your life, in your business, in your work in the world, in your family, in your community. And that last new moon was to ignite that. This new moon and the next one is really helping you to, how do you organize that energy? How do you create the systems you need to in order to lead what you're here to lead? Or maybe you're part of a bigger mission where you're doing that with other people. So in, again, Vedic astrology, the new moon is it's in Virgo, but then we have the lunar mansion, which happens to be Uttara Phalguni. And this is a very auspicious nakshatra. It's a very auspicious place in Virgo. It actually straddles Leo and Virgo. And this is the place that Shakti and Shiva got married. It's that union type energy. And Ahriman is the one of the gods the deities that rules this placement. And that's the god of commitments and of contracts and of agreements, and is said to really help uplift the suffering of humanity. Isn't that interesting? We don't do things alone. To do great things, we really need to come together in unity. So this is to help us really come to some agreements, be able to move together and create some new systems and new structures to shift this paradigm and actually start to ground it in and move it forward in the right direction. And also the god Mitra, the deity Mitra, is the deity of friendship and compassion. And so again, this unity and creating friendly alliances, and we need that right now. Everything is so polarized right now, so polarized. We have big shifts happening this month, and if you haven't already watched it, you can go ahead and watch my September update, where I talk about all the big shifts that are happening this month, because this is a very, very pivotal month. I'll talk about them a little at the end of this update. So with all the shifts, we need some new structure. We need to put the details in place in another way. Also, in this new moon, in this placement, it really opens us up to the spiritual growth and the mental expansion, to really explore those the deeper mysteries of life, the deeper mysteries of the cosmos. What is happening? How is this all organized? The design, the architecture of the actual soul. And so, there's this deep spiritual energy and this really practical energy, and both of them are being very supported during this time. So we've got the energy to organize power. So what are you moving forward right now? What do you want to move forward? What's your mission? What's your purpose? What's your project? I'd love to hear that in the comments below. Go ahead and put that there. This is what you're going to organize your power around. And we have this for the next 2 months, okay? And so if you have or it could just be a new inspiration, but how do we make it happen? This is the time you're going to have the support to hunker down. But there's also some things you really need to watch out for so that you don't get stuck spinning, distracted, overcritical. I'll talk about that in just a moment a little bit more. You need to be able to make sensible structures, pathways. If we want to get the water from the top of the mountain to the ocean, we're going to need creeks and streams and waterfalls and eventually a river, and then it'll merge with the ocean. There needs to be a pathway. You're going to be able to access this month that pathway where it's kind of an illusion. It's like, what do I do, and how do I do it? You'll be able to connect in with the most effective way. Think of this as design, as architecture, pathways, structure for the energy of whatever it is that you're called to move forward. So maybe you're someone who's, your business is shifting and changing with the times that we're in, but it hasn't become clear, what is that pathway I need to take here? How do I, shift and change this without throwing it all away? The energy will support that. And in fact, you might want to check out my Sacred Wealth Business Academy. Link is down below in the description here, because we work a lot with energy first, and then I'm bringing it into a practical form. There's an innocence and a purity of heart, because Virgo is this young innocence and purity, things down to their simplest and purest forms. And if you think about purity, it's distilling things down, and you want to get down to the root of whatever it is that you are creating, because from that root, you're going to be able to move things forward without the complication, as if you're trying to create something from the top down, where you're creating all this complication. It's about simplicity, and simplicity is very powerful, so that you're moving the energy in the right direction. This is also, again, powerfully collectively for this. We need this so much. So you've got this detailed, practical, structured energy, abilities. And this is also in the Sacred Wealth Code system. This is the merchant. I think I've got the merchant up here, the communicator, and also the messenger. So this is that, those messages from, beyond the veil, being able to really communicate things. But we don't just do that by words. We do that with, again, the structures we create around things as well, whether that's written structures, again, it's that movement of energy, just like communication is. You'll be able to organize the details, whether it's, you've been trying to reorganize your garage, or again, a part of your business, your purpose, your mission. I want to invite you to just bring into your awareness, what is it that's just been kind of swirling around that you need to get, the details in place for, so that you can actually, move it forward without feeling overwhelmed, without being stuck in the minutia of things, without being stuck in the details of things. So you have to give your mind, because Mercury, which rules Virgo, is our mental capacity to be able to discern, to sift and sort things. And actually Mercury rules the business quarter as well. So again, business is organization around business. We have to be able to really think very clearly. And Mercury has had a tough time with these eclipses the last few months, but is in a very good, strong placement in Virgo. So not only do we have that super full moon there, super new moon, but we also have Mercury with the new moon in a very strong, exalted position in Virgo ready to help us with those details. Now, if you don't give your mind something really good to chew on, something really good to work with, you're going to possibly get distracted. You'll get into the shadow side. You'll worry. You'll be overthinking, spinning about things, obsessing over things, maybe critical and nitpicking. You need to make sure that you have something that you're going to focus on this month, okay? Something that you want to get practical about. And there is a seriousness to this energy. And also there's an energy that can be, very playful and light. But seriousness is useful at times as long as we don't get stuck in, the overcritical and the worries. So there are, things to be, more concerned, more serious about, like your purpose, your mission, what you're moving forward in, or what you're contributing at this particular time, but not to sort of obsess and overthink just the details of life. That over compulsive energy could actually come up. So if you already have that going on for you in some way, you really need to make sure you've got something to work on, because otherwise this energy is going to grab you and you're going to just, you can only wash the counters so many times, okay? This is energy you want to use for something. So you can't make things perfect, because that's another part of the shadow here. And you have to remember that perfect it's a process. And at a certain point, things are done or they're good enough. So really watch out for the shadow this month. And this would be the shadow of the communicator, the shadow of the merchant, the shadow also of the messenger. And if you don't know what your Sacred Wealth Code archetypes are, you can grab a reading. And the link below is for the reading there. And also, if you want to find out one of your archetypes, you can take the quiz and you'll find that link down below as well. Okay, so here's how I want to invite you to really use this. And then I want to talk about the expansion that Jupiter's bringing in, and then a couple other great shifts that we have. So number one, pick what you're going to work on. Pick that project. If you don't know what it is, you close your eyes, you put your hand on your heart, you take a deep breath. You come down into your heart and you tell yourself the truth. What's the number one thing that I'm being called to get organized around, to get the details in place so that I can move it practically forward right now? What's that number one thing? That's what you need to work with, okay? And then number two, you want to tune in, you want to find out what's, first do a mind up, put it all down, I like to get it all out on a piece of paper. And then you want to get down to what's the purpose of this, whatever it is you want to bring forward. And then you want to start to reverse engineer it. So what's it going to take to get there? And I encourage you first just to cut it up in 3 pieces and then work with the first piece, because there's going to be smaller parts of that. This energy will assist you in doing that. That's the kinds of things I teach in my business academy as well. So we also have this really expansive energy coming in. Jupiter just went direct. So Jupiter is our, it's our higher knowledge. It's our abundance. It has the ability to see that big picture of things. The higher meaning is very, very generous, expands things, and is very spiritually based. And it's been with the eclipse pattern most of the year, or with Saturn, and right now, and it's been retrograde, but it is for the next couple of months. It's going to be in a very good position, especially, it's good now, but especially after the 19th, until about the 19th of November, we are going to have the grace of Jupiter, which we haven't had for this whole COVID time. We have not had the full grace of Jupiter. So this is an auspicious time for all of us, okay, to have the bigger picture come into play here, the higher meaning of things, and get things lined up in that way and supported. So if you've lost hope, you are going to reconnect with your hope. It's here, okay, and get our eye on the big picture. So that's you personally, but us collectively, and every choice you make contributes to the collective. So if your eyes are on the big picture on your life, that helps the big picture overall for all of us. So the great energy of Jupiter. I want to jump back and say that also, that new moon energy is happening in a certain area of your chart. I'm speaking of it collectively for us, but wherever it's personally happening for you, that's where the area of life that's going to be really going to receive that energy, and you really want to work with. Soul Success Map reading, link below is where I do my overall Vedic astrology readings. Now, Saturn is about to go direct at the end of the month on the 29th. And if you want to know more about these transits, again, watch that September update I did, links below. And Saturn is going to turn around, go direct, and really get us into that place of ready to commit and focus and work hard for what we really are taking a stand for. Collectively, it's going to help us to restructure some of these bigger organizations, governments, etc. It's really going to help with that, and we need that desperately. And, Mars is in Aries. It stopped in the heavens. It turned retrograde. It's going slower, but it's very strong. In Vedic astrology, retrograde planets are strong, and it's giving us that courage to take on our challenges, to have that passion for life, passion for your mission, your purpose. This is around birthing something new. And with the new moon, that's what we're doing. We're giving birth to something. What do we want to birth for this next 30 days? But Mars is going to give us that honorable warrior, in order to, that spiritual warrior who's willing to take a stand and do things that are challenging. Our full moon, I'll do another update for that, but it'll be in Pisces, which is opposite, which is going to be a much more spiritual placement. And that's something we always have. It's a balancing effect between the new moon and the full moon. If you like this, click the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Really appreciate you sharing this information around to support everyone, and so much love to you.